Hello students, welcome to the course Electricity and Magnetism for FYBSc Physics Paper 2 Semester 2 as per the revised syllabus of Savitribai Phule Pune University CBCS 2019 pattern. So we are studying our fourth chapter, magnetostatics. In the previous lecture we have learned about the introduction to magnetization, magnetic induction and magnetic field strength. In this lecture, we will study the Biot-Savart law and its applications. So, outline of my lecture is introduction, Biot-Savart law, applications of Biot-Savart law such as magnetic induction due to straight current carrying conductor and magnetic field due to circular coil carrying current. So, magnetostatics is the study of magnetic fields in systems where the currents are steady, that is not changing with time. It is the magnetic analog of electrostatics where the charges are stationary. Magnetostatics is a branch of electromagnetic studies involving magnetic fields produced by steady, non-time varying currents. Let us study the Biot-Savart law. Biot-Savart law states that the magnetic induction at any point P due to an element of a conductor carrying a current is directly proportional to the current in the element, directly proportional to the length of the element. It is directly proportional to the sine of angle between the element and the line joining the center of element. It is inversely proportional to the square of the distance of the point from the center of the element. To express this law mathematically, let us consider a wire carrying current I. Let dl be the small length element of this wire and point P is taken at a distance r from the center of length element dl. Let theta is the angle between the tangent to the current element, that is the direction of the current, and the line joining the center of the element to the point P as shown in figure. According to the definition, dB, the magnetic induction at point P, is given by dB is proportional to the I dl sin theta upon r square, or we can write dB is equal to k into I dl sin theta upon r square. Where k is a constant of proportionality, its value depends upon the system of units used. In SI units, k is equal to mu 0 upon 4 pi, where mu 0 is permeability of free space, its value is equal to 4 pi into 10 raised to minus 7 Weber per ampere meter. So Biot-Savart law can be written as dB is equal to mu 0 upon 4 pi I dl sin theta upon r square. In vector form, dB vector is equal to mu 0 upon 4 pi I vector cross dl vector upon r square. Let us now study the applications of Biot-Savart law. First application is magnetic induction due to straight current carrying conductor. Consider a straight wire carrying current, right? Let Mn be the portion of the straight wire carrying a current I. Let P be the point at a distance OP is equal to D. From it, the point O is the foot of the perpendicular from P to the wire. Let us consider an element dl of the wire at a distance L from the point O. The vector joining the element dl with the point P is r vector. The magnetic field at P due to the element is given by Biot-Savart law, and which is equal to dB vector is equal to mu 0 upon 4 pi I vector cross dl vector upon r square. The direction of the field is determined by the vector dl vector cross r vector. It is perpendicular to the plane of the diagram and going into it. Let theta be the angle between dl vector and r vector. The magnitude of the magnetic field is equal to dB is equal to mu 0 upon 4 pi I dl sin theta upon r square. From the figure, we can see that sine pi minus theta is equal to d upon r, right? And therefore sin theta is equal to d upon r, since sin pi minus theta is equal to sin theta, right? And therefore we get sin theta is equal to d upon r, and therefore r is equal to d cosec theta. Let us call it equation 3. So the direction of the magnetic induction is inside the plane of the figure. Similarly, from figure we can see that cot of pi minus theta is equal to L upon D. Cot of theta is equal to adjacent side upon front side, which is equal to L upon D, and therefore we can write minus cot theta is equal to L upon D, since cot of pi minus theta is equal to minus cot theta, right? And therefore we can write L is equal to minus D cot theta, or we can take the partial differentiation on both sides. We can write dl is equal to d cosec square theta d theta. Putting this value in equation 2, we get dB is equal to mu 0 upon 4 pi id cosec square theta d theta into sin theta upon d square cosec square theta. So dB is equal to mu 0 I upon 4 pi d sin theta d theta. The direction of the field is the same for all elements of the wire, and hence the net field due to the wire Mn is obtained by integrating equation 5 within the limits theta 1 and theta 2, right? So theta 1 and theta 2 are the two angles, right? So this is when we join P to M and theta to N and P to N. When we join P to M and P to N, so these angles we get theta 1 and theta 2, two angles, right? Integral over M to N, dB is equal to mu 0 I upon 4 pi d integration from theta 1 to theta 2 sin theta d theta. Therefore we get B is equal to mu 0 I upon 4 pi d. So integration of sin theta d theta is minus cos theta. We apply the limits from theta 1 to theta 2, and therefore we get B is equal to mu 0 I upon 4 pi d cos theta 1 minus cos theta 2. Let us call it equation number 6. This is the expression for the magnetic field due to the wire Mn carrying current I. Here theta 1 and theta 2 are the values of theta corresponding to the lower end and the upper end respectively. So we will consider different cases. So case 1, suppose the length Mn is equal to A and the point P is on its perpendicular bisector. So OM is equal to ON, which is equal to A by 2, and therefore we can write cos theta 1 is equal to A by 2 upon square root of A square by 4 plus D square, which is equal to A upon square root of A square plus 4D square, and cos theta 2 is equal to minus A upon square root of A square plus 4D square, and therefore equation 6 becomes, we can write B is equal to mu 0 I upon 4 pi d twice A upon square root of A square plus 4D square. Let us consider another case, that is for field due to infinitely long straight wire. In this case theta 1 is equal to 0 and theta 2 is equal to pi, and therefore cos theta 1 is equal to 1 and cos theta 2 is equal to minus 1, and therefore the magnetic field becomes B is equal to mu 0 I upon 4 pi d 1 plus 1 is equal to mu 0 I upon 2 pi d, right? So the direction of magnetic field at a point P due to a long straight wire can be found by a slight variation in the right hand thumb rule. If we stretch the thumb of the right hand along the long current and curl the fingers to pass through the point P, the direction of the fingers at P gives the direction of the magnetic field, right? So the magnetic field at P will be going into the plane of the figure. Let us see the applications of Biot-Savart law, right? The first application is magnetic field due to circular coil carrying current. So consider a circular coil of radius A at center at origin O and carrying current I in the direction shown in the figure. Let the plane of the coil be perpendicular to the plane of the paper. It is desired to find the magnetic field at a point P on the axis of the coil such that OP is equal to X. Consider two small current elements, each of length dl, located diametrically opposite to each other at point Q and R, and suppose the distance of Q or R from P is small r, that is PQ is equal to PR is equal to small r, and therefore R is equal to square root of a square plus x square. And consider a current element IDL of the wire at Q. According to the Biot-Savart law, magnitude of magnetic field at P due to current element at Q is given by dB vector is equal to mu 0 upon 4 pi I dl vector cross R vector upon R square. As dl vector is perpendicular to the plane of the figure, theta is equal to 90 degree, and the cross product dl vector cross R vector must be plane, and therefore dB is equal to mu 0 upon 4 pi R dl sin 90 degree upon R square, and therefore we get dB is equal to mu 0 upon 4 pi R dl upon R square. From the geometry of the figure, we can write R square is equal to a square plus x square, and thus dB is equal to mu 0 upon 4 pi I dl upon a square plus x square. Let us call it equation number 7. So, the magnetic field at P due to current element Q is in the plane of the paper and at right angles to R vector and in the direction shown. So, the direction of magnetic field will be along this direction and it is shown by dB, right? Similarly, the magnitude of magnetic field at point P due to the current element at R is given by dB dash is equal to mu 0 upon 4 pi I dl upon a square plus x square, right? So, this is the magnetic field at point P due to the current element at point R, right? And that magnetic field will be equal to dB prime equal to mu 0 upon 4 pi R dl upon a square plus x square, right? It is also in the plane of the paper and at right angles to R but opposite direction to dB, and it is shown here on this diagram, and it is dB prime, right? From equation 7 and 8, so we can write dB is equal to dB prime. So from figure we can see that the dB has two components. One component is the component which is perpendicular to the axis, that component is dB cos alpha, and another component is dB sin alpha which is along this line OP, right? Similarly, the dB prime is also has two components. One component is perpendicular to the axis, that is dB prime cos alpha, and another component which is parallel to this axis which is dB prime sin alpha. It is clear that vertical components, this dB cos alpha and dB prime cos alpha, will be equal and opposite and thus cancel each other. However, components along the axis of the coil, that is dB sin alpha and dB prime sin alpha, are added and act in the direction px. This is true for all diametrically opposite element of the circular coil, and therefore when we sum up the contributions of all the current elements of the coil, the perpendicular component will be cancelled, right? And thus hence the resultant magnetic field at point P is the vector sum of all the components dB sin alpha over the entire coil, and therefore we can write B is equal to integration over dB sin alpha, which is equal to integral over mu 0 upon 4 pi I dl sin alpha upon a square plus x square, which is equal to mu 0 I sin alpha upon 4 pi a square plus x square into integral over dl. Now since sin alpha is equal to a upon square root of a square plus x square, integral over dl is equal to 2 pi a, that is the circumference of the circle, and therefore B is equal to mu 0 I a square upon 2 into a square plus x square raised to 3 by 2, which is directed along px. So this 3 by 2 comes from this a square plus x square into square root of a square plus x square, these two terms. So a square plus x square raised to 1 into a square plus x square raised to 1 half, so that will give us a square plus x square raised to 3 by 2. Also H, that is magnetic field strength, is equal to B upon mu 0, which is equal to I a square upon 2 a square plus x square raised to 3 by 2. If the coil has n turns, then B is equal to mu 0 n I a square upon 2 a square plus x square raised to 3 by 2, which is directed along Px. Also H is equal to B upon mu 0, which is equal to n I a square upon 2 a square plus x square raised to 3 by 2. So we can see some special cases. So case 1, when point P is at the center of the coil, right? So in this case x is equal to 0, and therefore our equation 10 will become B is equal to mu 0 n I a square upon twice a cube, which is equal to mu 0 n I upon twice a, right? This is the expression for magnetic field at the center of current carrying circular coil. Also H will be equal to B upon mu 0, which is equal to n I upon twice a. So another case, when the point P is far away from the center of the coil, in this case x is very greater than a, and therefore we can write a square plus x square is nearly equal to x square, and therefore B is equal to mu 0 n I a square upon twice a cube. The magnetic field is directed along the axis of the coil and falls off as the cube of the distance from the coil, right? The magnetic field at the center of the coil carrying current is along the axis of the coil as shown in figure. The direction of the magnetic field can be determined by using the right hand fist rule. Hold the axis of the coil in the right hand fist in such a way that the outstretched thumb gives the direction of the current, then the fingers point in the direction of the magnetic field. Applying this rule to the figure, it is clear that the direction of magnetic lines of force is along the axis of the coil as shown in figure, right? So in summary, we have studied the Biot-Savart law. We have also studied the applications of Biot-Savart law, such as magnetic induction due to straight current carrying conductor and magnetic field due to circular coil carrying current. Thank you.